Hey, everybody out there, welcome back to 91.8 The Fan. It is I, your favorite holiday-themed host, the DJ Christmas, and I have with me a very special returning guest. Would you like to say hello to all the fans out there?
Well, hello there, guys. My name's Goku, and I'm here because somebody told me there'd be food. Is there food here? I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of hungry myself. Doesn't seem like the snack tray has been laid out quite yet, but we will definitely have to work on that.
No, I can wait, but not long. You
Yeah,
know, that table actually looks kind of tempting.
no, no eating the table.
Aw, you're no fun. Okay, Goku, you can hand up. Anyway, now, hey guys, I'm Lawrence Simpson, also known as MasakoX on the internets, and a bridger, editor, online digital entrepreneur, and writer. So that whole jazz,
And fancy hatware.
yes. I've had the pleasure of meeting Christmas at Youmacon back in November, and yeah, we were talking very enthusiastically about our headwear.
Yes, because you've got a rather dapper hat, which you have accessorized with a few buttons here and there, and I rock a just a standard baseball cap
Mm.
that I have completely covered in buttons, and it adds weight to the hat. I always get that comment when people say, "Oh, can I see it?" Yeah, sure. Here, take it. Read all the button yourself. That way, you don't have to keep walking around me staring at my head. You can just take it and look at it at your leisure and go, wow, this is really heavy. Doesn't your neck hurt after this? But it's one of those things that after a while you get used to it. I think
Yeah.
one of the reasons that I started adding weight to my hat was back in high school, I would wear a hat a lot, but in high school, sometimes people are jerks and they're like, oh, you've got a hat? Nah, let's knock the hat off your head. So,
Oh
uh,
yeah, because that is totally original.
of course, yeah. So the heavier the hat got, the harder it became to do that, and eventually people just stopped trying. So it all worked out.
Ah, excellent.
But I am thinking about getting a trilby, quite like yourself. I've,
Mm.
I've been thinking it's time to upgrade to a big boy hat.
Well, the most important thing is that you've actually got the cap on your head and it's not backwards. So
Yeah,
you're
that
doing it right.
yeah. As long as we've got that part down, it's
Yeah.
better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you opened up with Goku, and obviously the fans will know you as Goku from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and everybody else you play, Gohan and Roshi. But I don't think we've talked to you since you got to do some Super Saiyan screaming bits. How is that going?
Oh man, that is like uh, uh let me just give you one second. I've just got to get right back to this because I can't do a game thing on the fly. But basically, I basically find this fantastic.
Very nice. And I remember when
Had
the
to like go like 2, 3 feet back.
yeah, I believe it. But I remember when it was first coming up for the episode, you kept tweeting about how excited you were to finally get the chance to do that, and now you've had the chance to do a couple of them. There's the initial one with Frieza, and then
Hmm.
there's the quick one against the androids, and I think there was one in Lord Slug.
Yeah, sort of. And there was a little one in the Cooler movie.
Right, right.
Yeah, no, it's just like there around that time there are some really iconic ones. Like people don't really understand that the android one when he goes Super Saiyan is when he's kind of like it's the only other one that he's done after Frieza, pardon me. And it's a big one. And I remember actually when I was doing research for it back in like May, June time, and I was looking at like comparisons of how all the other languages do it, and they were just like one's going, ah. It's like, what are you supposed to be like a dynamo or a jet or a turbo? What the hell are you trying to do? So it's like that's so bland, and I'm thinking, no, I don't. I really don't want to do that. So I just kind of make. It was. It's it's also that because I love doing it, but it's also the drive to not suck
Yeah.
pretty
And
much.
it's one of those things that you don't really think about. as just a casual observer of Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, the first one is iconic because it's the first time it happens and
Mm,
everything.
mm,
Um, and then, the next ones you see is, him and Trunks, testing each other, and they don't need to show off to each other. They just let it happen, and it's a silent transformation. But against 19 and 20, it's intended to be a shock factor, so you want to
mm.
put that punch into it.
And I will tell you that time with Trunks, that really did tickle.
I always thought that was one of the most interesting parts of the anime, just, sword versus finger for some reason. It's one of the more memorable parts of Dragon Ball Z that for some reason. This is just one of the ones that stands out to me. I don't know.
No, no, it always is. It's certainly one of the more iconic scenes. But then I suppose that the next one will be when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, that'll
That
definitely
one's
be.
that's gonna be a throat ripper.
Yeah.
And then when Goku goes Super Saiyan 3. Oh. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I I'm gonna not be speaking to people for a weekend, I'd
You might
say.
you might need somebody else in the room to catch you in case you pass out.
Well, no, well the thing was though, is that story with Sean Schemmel kind of passing out when he was doing Super Saiyan is that he expelled a lot more air than he expected to.
Yeah.
So he pretty much just he passed out just due to sheer exertion. So that was the thing. But if I go into this just knowing exactly what's going to happen, so it'll be fun. But being on Dragon Ball Z Abridged in general is always fun. Working with chaps like Kaiser, Taka, Lani, Antfish, Megami, HBI, and now of course there's now Howard to
Of course.
Exorcist on Attack on Titan Abridged. That's really good to see him back in the fold. It's always cool. I remember D Grey Man Abridged, and that was really cool.
Yeah, it was one of the ones that I watched
Hmm.
back in the day, and it's good to see that he's a member of the team now.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, he totally deserves it. And also, he's just so adorable.
He really is.
He's just so cool. And it's hard to imagine he's only 20.
Yeah, it's
It's
one of
cool.
those things where you just look at him and it's like, no, he's got to be older than that. He can't be only 20.
But no, Howard's awesome. Yeah, everyone's pretty awesome. You're awesome.
I'm awesome. You're awesome.
You viewers out there, you're awesome. Remember that.
Everybody's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome things that you've been working on recently, I saw that you have revived Anaphile.
Yes, actually. When I basically decided that um I was thinking, and I was actually talking with my girlfriend that we were actually kind of discussing about bringing Anathar back in some way. Yeah, because if I had a bit of time to bring back the video reviews, so I was thinking, well, I'm not really sure about that. But I'm not really sure about that because I don't know whether I'll have time because I've got a freelance career, so it's always up and down in terms of work. So I can't guarantee whether I'll be able to keep up a regular output of video content. But what I can do, and what I have done, is written them anime reviews, particularly for Crunchyroll. So I thought, well, how about use the Anathar format and then put and then actually make a website for it, make a WordPress website, and then Phillida suggested that put uh make an audio transcript of the review as well. So when I write the review of the new reviews, I include an audio version as well, so people could just stick that on, kick back, and it's like a conversation.
Yeah, and it's really
Yeah.
cool. It's definitely one of the things,
Mm.
especially in this day and age, where there are so many things that come out, it's hard to decide which ones to watch
Mm.
sometimes.
Yeah. Um, I would just say that from the ones I've seen so far, Space Dandy is obviously an obvious candidate for one of the iconic shows of this season.
Yeah, you can't go wrong
Uh,
with Space Dandy.
yeah, and what you can go wrong with is with ZX Ignition.
Really not good?
No, it's awful. It's stupid. It's like so dumb, and it's so like vapid. There's nothing there. There's like it's trying to be Yu-Gi-Oh, but there are so many things that are just left unexplained in the first episode. And the main guy actually is so like you don't really get behind him. You just think, what are you doing here? I'm
Hmm.
really not behind you. So the whole concept's just like weird. It's just no, it's hard to comprehend and understand and really kind of get behind. So I just decide not to.
How about Sonico? I think Sonico was the most recent one you did.
Oh, Sonico. Sonico the character has been around for like a long time.
Yeah.
She was a mascot for like a games company,
Hmm.
and now they've decided after 8 years to actually make an anime. I kind of see why they did it. It's a marketing ploy, but it's it's not bad. It's just a bit unnecessary. It's uh it's the story about Sonico because she has a condition with which if she takes her headphones off, she will die.
Oh,
Because that
okay.
explains why she has them on every single waking moment. She doesn't take them off even in bed. So, you know, every single picture I've never seen her with her headphones off. So something's wrong there. Perhaps
Yeah.
because she's such an airhead, that's the only way of keeping the air in. But no, but then again, she's not. She's made out to be a complete whiz. So she's smart at school. She plays in a band, and she's a model. She's pretty successful.
Hmm.
But I just don't know the anime seems pretty thin and bland. But it's not bad. It's just really not anything special.
See, my biggest thing with this season of anime in particular is that my main way of deciding if I'm going to start watching something is, does it have a good musical opening? And I can't find one this season that I really enjoy. Last season, there was a bunch of great stuff. There was a new Spy Air single, there was a new Back On single, and this season it just seems bland in terms of music at least. So I
Mm,
haven't been able to pick anything that really stands out to me other than
mm,
um, Magical Warfare. I still want to check out, and I've watched the first episode of Wizard Barristers. But other than that, I can't really definitively pick anything out of the crowd that stands out immediately that I definitely want to check out.
Oh yeah, I mean it's I've seen that a lot, and especially with other people that review it. Most anime are around like 2 or 3 out of 5. There's no real standout ones, or not that many.
And
Not that
now,
many.
yeah, and the other one that you've done so far for this season is Noragami, which is higher on my list just in terms of animation style. It sort of catches my eye.
Yeah, I did enjoy my time in Origami. It was I thought it was cute with the fact that, it's a down and out god. He's pretty much ditched. He has to go and find someone else, pretty much. So
Hmm.
he is it's a god who's not got any kind of thing to do. So goes around, bumps into a schoolgirl and says, "Hey, for a shiny penny, I will be your god."
Hmm.
And it's almost just like it's almost kind of mirroring a special quote from Red Dwarf, just going, "Yes, I am your god." Looks completely disheveled, like, yeah. It's funny. It's a funny show, and I liked it because it felt like it wasn't shoving things in your face. It didn't over-explain things. It left you curious.
Yeah, which is especially for a first episode, you want to learn enough about the show and the characters who are going to be in it, but still have a question at the end that
Mm,
says,
mm,
"Well, I want to know more. I want to keep
mm,
watching this."
mm. Uh, One I've kept an eye on is I think I've watched the first episode of it. It's Sakura Trick.
Mm.
Yeah, that yeah. It's cute. It's all right. Straight up Yuri, of course,
Well, of
but
course, yeah. Meh.
yeah, but as long as you get past that, then it's all right.
It wouldn't be
It
it wouldn't be the first one that I've watched. I'll admit it.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's cute. It's like, it's not it's what I would describe, and I guess that's what most anime is these days. It's non-threatening.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really have to think too much about stuff. You just turn it on, turn your brain off for a little bit, or at least let it tick over. For 20 minutes, you'll be fine. You'll be entertained. You won't have to like think too much.
Yeah, that's one of the
Mm.
things. Really, instead of picking out something new, the only thing that I can consistently keep up with is Hunter x Hunter. I've been watching it since
Mm.
the remake first started airing back in 2011,
Mm.
and for me, Hunter x Hunter recaptures the feel I had as a kid watching Dragon Ball Z. I have had moments watching Hunter x Hunter where I will just get so intensely invested in what's happening on the screen that I have held my breath for a good 20, 30 seconds in just anticipation where it's like, what's going to happen?
Mm.
What happens next? And
Yeah, that's always good in anime. Yeah.
and since then, because of that, I have gone ahead and read the manga, and I've now read farther than I've watched. So now it's not blind anticipation, it's anticipation of what I know is coming next and how it's going to get animated and how they're going to play it out with the animation team.
Mm. Yeah.
It's it's not necessarily bad, it's different. Um, and for anybody interested, I would say that Hunter x Hunter, especially this new remake by Madhouse, it's one of the more faithful adaptations I've seen of a
Yeah.
manga in a long time. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with Hunter x Hunter, and then of course Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, there seems to be a real movement with some already made animes that have been already made. Then maybe they think that it was probably rushed or not explained enough, or kind of like underappreciated, getting like a second chance almost. Not necessarily a reboot because it's not a reboot because it's the original story.
Right.
It's a retelling, I'd say.
And I feel like a part of that has to do with, those are series that came out really before anime had a big foothold in the US, and
Mm.
just fans weren't as invested. And the more that fans did get invested,
Yeah.
like, well, I wish it was more like the manga. I wish it was more like the original
Mm.
story that the writer was trying to get across. And
Yeah, because like Full Metal Alchemist was pretty much the anime because that the anime that kicked off the movement in America, to make it that when it really took off.
definitely,
Yeah, that Full Metal Alchemist, I remember always people talking about this. Oh, it was when Full Metal Alchemist became popular. That's when anime really started to become noticed.
yeah. Which is kind of crazy to think that that's only about 10 or so years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
now we have all this stuff and the fandoms of this and that and every other thing. It's crazy.
It's how I always say, you think, oh, we have everything at our fingertips, and then you go, we have everything at our fingertips. Oh God,
And
nothing escapes.
by having everything, we have nothing.
Yes, pretty much.
But it's like I said, that's really the biggest issue I think a lot of anime fans have now is that there's so much to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose the wrong one, that you get turned off from watching anime in general for a while. And
Mm.
I feel like I had that sort of stagnation where I would just watch, a mediocre show here and there until I found something like Hunter x Hunter or I got back into One Piece or something like that, where it's okay, but you can only do so much with a 12 or 13 episode story.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Then it's kind of like, oh, if that sucks, well, there's always One Piece.
Yeah,
Ah, eh,
but you also start to fall into the pitfalls of stuff like where, a show's going great and I'm super interested in it, and there's only 2 or 3 episodes left, so they have to write some sort of made up anime ending that isn't very good. And I had that happen to me with both Dead Man Wonderland and Yumikui Mary, and I didn't really like it.
mm. No, that's certainly an issue there.
And specifically with Yumikui Mary or Dream Eater Mary for people who prefer, translated titles. I always try to go for the original Japanese title unless it's one of those obnoxiously long slice of life shows.
Mm.
But
Yeah, because you always run the risk with kind of slice of life anime that if you kind of stagnate too long or make the story too long or you don't have enough story to go along, it does run the going like characters just standing there going, so how's the weather? You're
yeah,
not careful.
but for Yuma Queen Mary specifically, I felt like, and I think that one actually ran 2 seasons, into a full 25 or so episodes, but they sort of made up the ending as they went along, and it just felt out of place. It felt like there could have been more, and they had to stop because they ran out of time.
Mm. Yeah, that tends to be a lot in the last few years, well, several years actually. That the onus where has gone from like instead of having like 26 episode season, well, yeah, having 2 seasons, it now most shows only get one.
Yeah, which it it leaves it open to, you know, maybe gauging fans' interest, and after, a season or so break, it'll come back.
Mm.
There have been a couple things that did that. I know Fate Zero, for example, it took a season off break and then came back to finish up the story, which was really good.
Yeah, I think another example would be Shakugan no Shana.
Mm,
That's had like 3 seasons, I think, but
yeah,
they spaced it out quite a bit.
yeah, it's good to space it out, not only to gauge interest, but to give fans a breath of
Mm.
fresh air, because not everyone wants to just completely marathon week to week and feel like they have to know what's next. It's good to give people a chance to dwell on things sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And now, in terms of other stuff that you're working on, obviously Project Jikoku is still going strong.
Oh yeah, at projectjukoku.com. Dawn and I, we've had to take another hiatus again because Dawn is actually getting married in May. So we're taking a break. Just that means, yeah, we can actually just, things can be arranged and everything. But yeah, Chikoku, the story is still going and the site's still up and running and we've got everything there. So we're currently about halfway through chapter 3. So the story is really starting to pick up now. So I would say, if you have some time and you've got fancy a little bit of a webcomic that has to do with two siblings and their fight to find their father, then give it a look. It's certainly I still like have my 12 chapter kind of idea for it because I remember we were talking about it when actually Dawn was here with me last time. Yeah, almost not just over a year ago from yeah, that's certainly true.
Yeah, and it's one of the things where obviously, uh, fans can keep up to date with work that you're doing on. They know that you're always doing something.
Oh yeah, oh
And
yeah, definitely, of course.
and
And
webcomics are a really good way to just spend some time, instead of constantly watching anime or playing a game. Sometimes you need a change of pace, and it's good to have a couple comics that update on a regular basis, so you have
mm,
something to look forward to.
oh yeah, of course. I mean, Jikoku is pretty much my childhood story, as in this was the story that I conceived when I was, a teenager. So I've had this with me for a very long time. And now to actually start to kind of get the story out there and have some really cool characters and cool looking characters, thanks to Dawnry, it's a real pleasure to see it. And actually just has some really cool designs at the same time. And in fact, Dawn and I are actually kind of working on something else as well. So we're kind of working on something a little bit different, a little bit more in keeping with anime, but we're just kind of like seeing it.
Oop,
Yeah, sorry, just I think we just dropped out there.
there you go.
You
You're
okay?
back.
Yeah, but we're kind of like we're working on something right now. We're kind of like we're brainstorming, so we've got like a couple of people in, including some really kind of people that I'm really close to. Just kind of like get like a really good understanding about the story, something that's in keeping with anime, but also not entirely generic. Things that people might be familiar with, but crossed with things that might be a bit new, something a bit more kind of a Western perspective. But we'll have more as things come along.
It's always good to have a few cards hidden up your sleeve, as it were.
In fact, actually, if there are any animators listening that are very experienced with Flash, feel free to tweet myself or Miss Dawnray. Just
Yes,
like send us a tweet message, and we'll and with some of your credentials, and yeah, and we'll get back to you.
definitely. Aspiring animators apply.
Yes, and this will be potentially paid.
Ooh, it's always good to get paid for work.
Mm-hmm. No. Certainly for this project, we hope this will hopefully get crowdfunded, and we kind of want to have that goal ultimately. But right now, the main focus is on a story.
Definitely.
We want to have the story, and we want it to be good. We want it to be something that we can look back and thinking, and we can look at it and go, "This is going to be cool." That's
Yeah,
the main thing. I want characters. I want a story. I want good characters. I want a good story. I want everything to be on the level.
yeah. Structure is always very
Mm.
important before you go to the production phase.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, we're going to be taking our time with this.
And now, for any fans who are looking to keep up with Project Chikoku, obviously the website is good, and they can follow you and Dawn on Twitter. It's just at MasakoX and at Miss Donry.
That's right.
And obviously, you guys will keep us posted once you're ready to come back from hiatus. There are a lot of weddings going on this year.
I know. I've been invited to a few, and and it's just it's. I think 2014 is the year of the wedding vows.
Which is
It's
always
sweet.
really great. It's great for everybody involved,
Yeah,
really. There's nothing really bad you can say about a wedding.
of course not. There's wedding's always a very happy occasion.
Yeah, so uh hopefully, all the planning goes well because I know it's usually the most stressful part of a wedding, but once it's, you know, actually happening and it's all said and done, then
Hmm.
it all runs smoothly no matter what.
Absolutely.
And now, other than that, obviously we've talked about Anaphile and DBZ Abridged, but do you have any live appearances where fans can come up and say hi to you?
Well, yes, actually. I am actually tomorrow. I'm heading up to London for London Anime Con, uh, and where some of my abridging chaps, ex Dark One, Niley Monty, will be hosting some panels, and we'll be there with some other musical and entertainment guests, including Gigs UK, really upcoming anime reviewer. Yeah, seriously, he's really on the up, and looking forward to seeing him again. And just loads more of my friends and fans. It's always really nice to see.
Very cool.
Um, and for Americans, and for you American chaps and chapettes, I will actually be joining the Team Four Star guys. So Lanny Pator, Takahata 101, and Kaiser Neko. I'll be joining them at San Japan in at the end of July. So in San Antonio, Texas.
Very nice. San Japan, I always hear, is a lot of fun to get the chance and head out to. It's maybe
Mm.
not the best time to be out in San Antonio, Texas, but it's with a lot of friends, so it'll be fun regardless.
Yeah, of course. Oh, and Little Karibo, of course. And I would imagine, hopefully, that my friends, kind of Sai and Gabby, will be able to come. That will always be awesome. But again, it's a new con. It'll be really fun. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and obviously, if you have any new appearances, especially for the UK fans, obviously you're pretty much the only member of Team Four Star left in the UK now. So
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, yeah, you want Team Four Star? I'm your guy. So it's like, no, it's always nice going to a con, talking about like Team Four Star stuff, and kind of almost being like the spokesman, really.
yeah, we've
And
got we've got a
now I'm
couple
and
UK
now I'm actually
fans.
kind of I'm I think you got more than a couple, mate. Seriously, but I think you got more than that.
Well,
Uh,
then all of our UK fans should come out and see you at
yeah.
the London Anime Con. I know we held that contest that you helped us promote, so one of our fans actually got the chance to have. They won a pair of tickets, so they and a friend will get the chance to come out and see you definitely.
Oh, huzzah! That's always cool.
And yeah, I've run out of things to say. Do you have
That's
anything special to say?
um. Well, I would just want to say, I just kind of just want to make a nice little personal thing. Is that just thank you to everyone that's really kind of been supporting me over the last 8 years and everything. And I may not be the most kind of I might not be the most laugh out loud of all the abridgers out there, all kind of internet personalities and stuff. But I like to make people smile. I like to help inspire people to do what they want to do. So if I can't necessarily make people laugh too much, I like making people chuckle, inspire people, get people talking, get people engaged in doing what they want to do, and just generally just have a really good time at what they want to do, because that's what I did and I still do. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you so much, and I just hope to do the best I can in whatever shape or form I will do in the future.
Well, thank you. Obviously, I've been a fan of whatever you put out for these past 8 years, so it's great to see really all the facets of your work and all the other projects that you work on besides what you started on, and it's great to see that you've continued with your artistic talents.
Mm. Yes, I'm always striving to do something better and improve myself, because one thing in life, you never stop learning. You
Yep.
never stop learning new things, and you just got to keep going.
Very cool. Well, I do believe that is all the time we have with Masako today. But obviously, if you ever have anything to promote, especially your super secret project, you're welcome to come back anytime.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, if I have more news, I will badger you and say like, hey, 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 put me on. Got something
Want,
to say.
want to
Hey,
come? Want to
hey.
come talk about stuff? I'm like, all right, fine.
I said, hey, hey, hey. I want to talk about stuff. Stuff's awesome.
Yeah, stuff. But
Yeah.
but for anybody who missed this interview and us talking about stuff, shame on you. But it'll be up on the website within the next couple days, so make sure you keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.